Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming After Dark for this Tuesday, September the 1st, brand new month as we wind down another year's, but a lot of crazy stuff going on. And we have got, of course, the craziest panel in gaming today, let me tell you right now. So let's get to it. Let's introduce the panel, starting with, of course, the host with the most, myself, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. Noof Nukem is in the room once again. It is going to be a fire show. Before we get to our special guest, let's introduce the incredible panel, starting off with Mr. Titan Drago. What's up, Titan?
What's up, everybody? So we're going to talk a lot about the games coming out here soon in the pipeline tonight. Now, I've been going a little crazy with purchasing games lately, okay? I bought Dungeons 3, Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and a few more. So I have to be a little somewhat responsible because we all know what's coming this winter season. We all know our bank accounts are going to take a hit, and, next-gen consoles and the fantastic lineup of games coming in, this winter season. So just know that my opinions really take that in account tonight, okay? Other than that, it appears my seasonal allergies are really starting to hit me hard right now, so bear with me, as I'm sure you can picture a 37-year-old gamer with tissues stuffed up his nose during a podcast. So there you go.
There you go. So just letting everybody know, we could disappear momentarily because between me and middle-aged game guy or Mag, Titan's got a runny nose. Might have some runny assholes. So this could be the shittiest episode of Gaming After Dark ever, quite literally. Let's get over to this other amazing panel member making his second appearance. Is this your second show?
That's
or third?
Correct.
Second show. How about that?
One.
Yes, the second one, man. Time flies when you're having fun. It is the Mag, middle-aged game guy. What is up, brother?
What's going on, Noof? What's going on, Titan Drago? What's going on, Cerebral Paul? And to the chat, I am the middle-aged game guy, better known as the Mag. We got a great show for you tonight, so let's get right into it.
Absolutely, and I couldn't wait to get this guy on. I caught him a few months back. He was hanging out with Wilmy Hood and company on Gaming Beyond the Box, Cerebral Paul. I said, this guy's got a little charisma. I kind of just liked his energy, and he seems like an easygoing guy, so I couldn't wait to get him here. Sent out the invitation. He was just like, yeah, man, count me in. And look, he even shows up with a beaver icon. The beaver's wearing a cute little hat, so shit's going to be lit. Cerebral Paul, welcome to Gaming After Dark, brother. Tell everybody how you doing.
I'm sorry to say the check is not going to clear, but I'm going to stay on the show anyway. Other than that, by the way, if he's middle-aged game guy, that makes me like grandpappy or something. I don't know. Wow.
All right. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Father Time himself.
The Gaming Geezer. There you go. That's the name of your podcast. The Gaming Geezer podcast.
Ooh, I can do that.
Let's give a shout out to the chat before we get too far along. Guys, don't forget the super chats are open. Greatly appreciate it, but not required. Let's give a shout out to the chat, to the first two guys who jumped in the room. We have Dre Venero. Yo. Timothy Dixon's in the house. We got Jay Swoles 510. We got Spider-Man 356. We got Casket Repair. We got Matty Burns is in the house. There you go. So we got a good crew already in early. And share this out, guys. Share the love. Spread it around. I like to see those numbers. We're trying to get past that 50 mark. I know we can do it. Let's get there. Hopefully everybody's doing good. First of all, what kind of games have been keeping you busy? Titan, you said you picked up a slew, so what's been keeping you busy, brother?
Mostly Dungeons 3 because that game is hard, man. Like I haven't beaten a stage yet on it. Like I do the skirmishes. Like I'm pretty good about picking up, just grabbing a game and learning like right off the bat. I'm really good at that's probably one of my best qualities. I can just like learn a game automatically, after gaming for so long. So, but this game is really hard. There's a lot it seems like the better you do, the more crap they throw at you, the more heroes and everything. So I don't know. I haven't been able to beat a skirmish yet, but if anyone's played Dungeons 3 in the chat, let me know. I highly recommend this game. It's like it's like it's got some twists to like your standard RTS game. It's kind of like real-time strategy, but it's definitely got some twists and some base building into it, and I love base building. So, yeah, I highly recommend it.
Nice. Mr. Mag, what's in your bag, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm just I'm finally on Act 2 of Ghost of Tsushima. Because I put it down for about 3 weeks. I think I tweeted about it a couple days ago, and I'm like, I had open world fatigue, and I had to drop it for about 3 weeks. So dropped it, picked it back up, and my God, I don't know how that game is getting better. It just keeps getting better and better and better. and the story's fantastic. I'm having a great time with that. I also today just got my because I got the deluxe edition of the Avengers. My son was playing it upstairs, and I played like maybe the first half hour or so just to kind of see what was it all about. But he played about 2 hours and absolutely adores it. So and I game share with my wife, right? So you know, we just they're playing right now, and then I'm gonna give it a good shot tomorrow. Other than that, that's pretty much it on the game front. I'm just rubbing my hands, waiting for the next couple of weeks. It's going to be Remaster City coming along. I mean, we've got Kingdom of Amalur coming. We've got Tony Hawk coming in the next week. In 3 weeks, the one that I had a candle lit in my window waiting for is Mafia Definitive Edition, the full from the ground up remaster. I've heard some early reviews, and they're saying that game is absolutely magnificent. So I'm really looking forward to that. That is September 27th, if I'm not mistaken. So
dude,
that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Can you imagine the open world fatigue you're gonna have by the end of this holiday season?
I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna just
Valhalla.
I'm gonna be all into it. Yeah, I'm mentally prepared for all those open worlds. But you know, the thing is, very much like Randall Thor. Like he talks a lot about it. He says that he doesn't do multiple games at the same time. He'll kind of concentrate on one, so you kind of get enveloped in the story and everything else. And I do the same thing. I try. And the other thing is, I also forget the goddamn buttons. Because then all of a sudden I go from one game and I'm like, oh, I got to get this guy, A. And then I'm like, what did A do? And all I did was like a little shuffle. Meanwhile, in the other game, A is stab the guy in the face, right? So, it gets confusing after a while. So I try to stick to one game at a time. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go AC Valhalla first and maybe put Cyberpunk on the back burner till like January.
Nice.
That's smart though too, because every time I switch games or switch gears, I never seem to go back and finish it.
Yeah.
I bounce all over the place. But you were saying about the controller schemes. I always end up doing something where I hit a button thinking I'm going to hit somebody, and I've just thrown a grenade against the wall 3 feet in front of me. And oh, look, I'm dead now. Yeah, that was the wrong button.
You died needlessly a couple of times. It's like, I forgot the schemes already. What's the melee button? What's the block button? I hear you. Before we get to CP up there, let's give a shout out to the chat because we got some more people jumping in. Crazy Greek Dude, what is up, brother? Welcome to the show. Joe Dunmore is in the house. And we got and Spider-Man 356 going down and saying he bought the Avengers game, might be his game of the year. Joe Dunmore said he bought it and might return it before he even opens it. So we got some mixed thoughts on that, and that is one of our topics for tonight is the Avengers game and sort of where people stand on this particular game. Some interesting stuff with it as well, so we're going to get into that in a bit. But CP, Cerebral Paul, what have you been playing, brother?
Oh, let's see. I started Tell Me Why, which is Xbox game, and it's a story-driven game. I love story-driven games almost more than the other types. It's a very deep game. I've only done the first episode. Of course, I did Flight Simulator because it came out last week. Yeah, loving that. That's beautiful. But I'm one of those guys who play a little bit of everything, whatever I'm in the mood for that day, type of thing.
Did you fly over your house?
Yes, I flew over the house I grew up in.
Nice.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
Can you drop a septic waste on your house?
No, you save that for the ex-girlfriend.
That'd be cool though. Yeah.
There's all kinds of add-ons that Noof needs to talk to the game developers about.
We've all heard those horror stories, how somebody's house, their roof was smashed when the frozen piece of septic shit fell through there. So, my God. Yes, and for myself, I'm with Mag, Ghost of Tsushima. I took a little break from it, came back to it, and I am just engrossed, and I'm still not quite off the first island, because I'm just trying to do everything that I can, but it's just a magnificent game. I also tried out this Rogue Company game, picked it up on the Switch because I wanted to try something different for the Switch for a change, so try that Rogue Company game, not bad. And lastly, I picked up this, I don't know why, probably a bad decision, but I picked up that freaking Ring Fit game because I noticed a lot of people were picking it up and buying it, and I thought I'd give it a try. Being me and fat, maybe playing a video game and losing some weight at the same time might be a good idea. Well, let's just say, if nothing else, it was worth it to watch my wife laughing and nearly pissing herself, laughing at me in the fucking living room with my legs going up and down and me flexing this weird little plastic ringy thing. It was crazy. So that's what I've been kind of up to, a little bit of everything. We got Invader Gaming. What is up, Invader? How you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. So let's get
let me just say real quick to answer the question. Can you do a 9/11 type crashing? No, Flight Simulator has never been big on crashes. It just kind of stops the simulation and resets you.
I think the screen just goes black, right? I think I saw that. Yeah.
Or the plane just lays there upside down. But no, there's no explosions, no
Right.
building destruction or anything like that.
We don't need to give people the wrong ideas here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Well, there you go. He just answered that question. Thank you for that. Let's get into the topics. And this one kind of came down late, wasn't really on the schedule, but it kind of ties into something we've all sort of known and said for a while. It is about the media bias. I don't know. I can already hear the groans from certain people going, the media bias, those Xbox guys are at it again. But here's the deal, right? And I saw this, I think it was Mr. Badbit or BitCloud, actually. He posted a thing that came up from some article. And here's the article's headline. NVIDIA's new 3070, 3090 graphics cards make the Xbox Series X look like a useless paperweight. Interesting. No mention of the PlayStation 5, just highlighting the Series X. That's interesting. So if the Series X is a paperweight, what the fuck will that make the PlayStation 5? And why is it every time one of these articles comes out, it mysteriously never has? It could have easily fixed that by just saying, yeah, the 3070, 3090 series or whatever makes both consoles look like paperweights, and it would have been at least a little bit more unbiased. But no, they make sure it's clear. They compare it to the Xbox, right? Why is that? And I'll let anybody from the panel take a shot. You guys can jump in wherever you like, and I'll chime in a minute. So who wants to take the floor on this one first? Titan, I know you're always chomping at the bit.
I'll just start with a little something here. We'll just go back and forth with it. I'm glad you mentioned the specific wording, because a lot of people fail to realize, like, I'm being a teacher, I really notice these things, and I really notice the biased nature of the industry. And I think a lot of people just don't see how these things are biased. They're not really taught about how the specific wording of this really makes it biased. And this is a slightly more of an obvious example, but there's plenty more examples where just you tweak the wording a little bit, and it's an okay article that we can all read, that we would all enjoy reading, possibly, right? But when you make a title like these, like I've seen probably 3 different ones in the last hour. When you make them like this, you're losing. I don't understand it, because you're losing half the audience. You think Xbox guys are going to want to go, like the diehards are going to want to go in and read that? Like you got to be losing a lot of the audience right there. And just a simple few tweaks, bam, there you go.
Yeah, it's just so asinine, man. That's all I can say. Let's head it over at Mag.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, it's not surprising, okay, that they do this. I've mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. When the Xbox One X in 2017 came out, instead of comparing it, remember they used to compare the PS4 to the Xbox One for the first 4 years. It was and it was relentless. They would just jab for 4 years. But it also, you know what? It also gets clicks, and that's why they do it. It's obnoxious, but that's, it is what it is. But the thing is, all of a sudden the Xbox One X came out, and mysteriously not a mention of the PS4 or the PS4 Pro in comparisons. It was always Xbox One X versus a $2,000 PC.
Yes.
And then IGN was doing that, and Games Radar was doing that, and The Verge was doing that, and Forbes was doing that. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Those aren't even the same competition. That's like saying, well, the Ferrari clearly outclasses the Hyundai. We know. You know what I mean? You get what you pay for. You're getting what you pay for a $500,000 car versus an $18,000 car. What the hell do you think it's going to do, right?
Well, it was Sorry, I cut you off there.
No. Go nuts, man.
It was Optimus Code that tweeted out how he was really upset about how they discontinued the Xbox One X, and he was okay. He seemed to be okay about his PS4 Pro. I said, are you going to play your PS4 Pro when the PS5 comes out? I said, it's just a different train of thought, because I'm thinking, like, shouldn't we be thankful that the next generation of systems kind of renders the previous generation, pretty much obsolete in the first place? Yeah. And the 3070, I believe, is the real comparison with the Xbox Series X, because the 3070, I believe, is going to be $500. So and that's I don't know if that's just I don't know what if it's just coincidence. And well, there's a lot to say about just because the the price is supposedly going to be 500 for the Series X, and that this card and middle-aged game guy said it in our private chat. He said, yeah, this is one piece of the puzzle, right?
Exactly. You're paying $500, but you're not getting anything with it.
No, you've got to pay another $2,000 to get the machine up.
You've got. That's what I'm saying. You need a mouse. You need a keyboard. You need a monitor. You need the actual. You need the actual. You need
Power
the tower
supply,
itself.
motherboard.
Yeah, your
You need the
motherboard's got to
motherboard.
support it.
It's like me going into the hockey store. Hey, man, you want to play hockey? Here's your stick, and you're like,
Yeah, that's right. No equipment.
what?
Like
Where's
what
my
the hell is
skates? Where's
going
my
on?
helmet,
Here's your
man?
skates.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good.
Right? If you when it's all said and done, you're paying double, if not triple that.
Yep.
That $500. So get the hell out of here. Come on.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. We'll get to Cerebral in a second, but let's catch up with the chat first because we had a few people jump in, and we got ACS Husk. What's up, Husk, brother? Glad you could be here. We also got Try Hard Fan is in the house. We got Portal Player. What's happening, Portal? Glad you could be. Hey, Free Jack is here. What's going on, my Canadian Alberta brother? How you doing, my friend? Glad you could be here, brother. Appreciate that. And we got to hang out soon too, by the way, or play a game at least, for fuck's sake. So send me a message, man. Yeah, don't forget next gen storage requirements with direct storage, all that good stuff. Dreadpool just jumped in. All right, Cerebral, how do you feel about that, bro? Like, I mean, I'm interested to hear your stance on things because you've obviously been around this industry a long time. Where do you feel on the whole bias? Do you think it's intentionally like always trying to make Xbox look the bad guy?
I think even when it's not just Xbox, they do leave out the parts about you've got to buy the case, you've got to buy the motherboard, you've got to buy the power supply. And for us to make a box that is equivalent to a console wouldn't be near as cheap at all.
Did you guys see the size of that fucking graphics card?
It's bigger than the Series X itself.
I think it's bigger than the PlayStation 5. The thing is huge. It's got a fan on there that could blow the pubic hair off your balls if you sat in front of it. Like, seriously, man. Holy shit.
Hey,
I was like,
Use that
damn.
fan as an air conditioner.
I'm in Houston. I can use that fan right now.
He's going to buy one just to sit in front of it and turn on.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Who needs graphics? I got the coolest balls and fucking my... Oh, man. Holy shit. Great stuff. Any more thoughts on that, or...
No.
There was
I
one.
did bring up a good point, though. Storage. Storage is all SSD now. Are going to be direct access. That's not going to be cheap.
No, not at all. Baseball's 1,500. They want an arm leg and your firstborn. Yes, indeed. They just might. Look, I mean, the graphics cards are great. Like, if you're a PC guy, like, if you got infinite money to spend and you can go for it, go for it. I mean, obviously that's your bag. It's always going to have a leg up in terms of power and performance over any console we have. That's just nature of the business. It's always been that way. It's going to continue to be that way forever. But there's no denying the Xbox Series X is a beast of a console. Comparable with the 2080, I think, Ti. And honestly, it's redundant. We've talked about this many a times, and it's just so sad that it's like they constantly pick on Xbox. Like I said, they could have easily fixed the whole title by just saying, the 3070, 3090 series of graphics cards, make the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X look like a paperweight. But it's funny that no matter how many of these articles, 9 out of 10 of them never include the PlayStation version. Meg brought it up. As soon as the Xbox One X came out and was more powerful than any other console in the business, guess what? They didn't compare it to any of the consoles anymore. They always compare it to a high-end PC. Like I said, that's like comparing I don't know. It's like comparing a newborn's leg to your leg. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, right?
Well, there is something at least that we can learn from this. And in this one article, it says it's talking about the version, where is it? The 3080. It's going to be 700. And it's faster than our RTX 2080 Ti. It's going to use the deep learning super sampling, so DLSS, and accommodate. It's going to use all these different things. And it goes up into all these things. It says it's got twice as fast ray tracing cores. And then like you mentioned earlier, it talks about the API and the API and the throughput of the whole system. So this is good. This is actually good news for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, because they're saying that that games developed with PC in mind will much easily transfer over to the Xbox Series X as well as the PS5. And you PS5 fans out, PlayStation fans out there, this is really good news for you. Well, as well as Xbox, because the velocity architecture, the RTX can now offer similar performance with the PlayStation 5. It's basic. They're saying that this is similar performance, so this is really good for everybody.
Oh, indeed. I like what Born Distracted, who is in the chat. What's going on, Born? He says consoles should help drive the solid state drive prices down, and I agree. Hopefully it does overall, so could be a win-win. We also got Sparhawk in the chat, Jay Slayer, Jay, and BC McNasty. What's going on, guys? Thanks for being here and joining the show. Let's get over to our next chat. Our next topic, I guess you could say. I'll get Cerebral to jump in on this one first. I hope you guys like VR, because it's this is a VR topic. I know some people can't stand it. Fugly, what's up, brother? I love the name Fugly. Just he needs to be on a podcast with a name like Fugly. Hey, it's Fugly in the house, you know. But Medal of Honor, guys, is back, but it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, legitimately, people kind of thought Medal of Honor was dead and buried. Now, here's the deal: it is back, but not quite how we expected it to be back. Apparently, it's coming out this fall as a VR game for Oculus. But here's the deal. It's published by EA. That's no surprise. But guess who's behind it? Respawn Entertainment. Interesting, right? So Respawn is the builder of this game. I checked out the trailer, and it looks absolutely dynamite. I am a supporter of VR, and this might be the reason I finally pick up the Oculus Quest. It's available with the Oculus Quest, and what's the other one? The Oculus Rift. So it's on those particular two new units. Percolator, what's going on? Custods X, how you doing, man? Glad to be here. I checked out the trailer. I thought it looked amazing. I love VR stuff. I'm really tempted now this year. Maybe I don't buy the Xbox Series X this year. Maybe I actually get myself a Quest for the first time ever, because it needs no hardware to run it. And I think that would be a really cool game to play on it. So, Cerebral, how do you feel about VR and about Medal of Honor sort of coming back, but not quite the way we expected it?
Well, for me, VR is a limitation because I am disabled, the whole Cerebral Paul thing.
Right.
And I've never actually got to lay my hands on one, though a little bit I have dealt with it. It's, a lot of some walking and moving around, which I can't do, which limits what games I can play. Now, okay. I did look at the trailer for this Medal of Honor. It does look good, but it also basically looks like a first-person shooter to me. In other words, it looks like it's playable without the VR.
Okay, but that's a great angle, though, Paul, because obviously you said you have a disability, and this game is pretty much rendered useless to you. Like, are you a Medal of Honor fan? Because say if you're a Medal of Honor fan, and this is also by Respawn, who many people like, isn't that kind of a missed opportunity? It could have easily made a VR version and perhaps a version, a standard version.
Yeah, absolutely, because, there's going to be a lot of disabled gamers that are going to be a little upset. It's like, can you imagine if they did Valhalla VR and we couldn't play AC Valhalla? Oh, I'd be all over the place, man.
Of the Medal of Honor series, Paul, what was your favorite of all time?
I've got to say, it's been so long since I played any of them that I couldn't really tell you. They all kind of blend in my head. When you've been playing games as long as I have,
Well, would you say you liked the Medal of Honor? Obviously, Medal of Honor was the original Call of Duty before Call of Duty, right? Medal of Honor was the big World War franchise that really started it all. So were you more of a fan of the World War II Medal of Honors, or did you kind of like the newer age ones?
I prefer the World War II stuff.
Okay.
In most of my fighting games, I actually do prefer the history-based stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's catch up with the chat here real quick. We got who just jumped in here? We got Junos 23 is in the chat. What's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. Glad you could make it. Percolator 9000, Sparhawk, Jace Woll, Cyber Gunters in the house. Crazy Greek dude. Yes, the list goes on. Spider-Man saying with us. Great chat, guys. We're up to 34. Let's keep it rolling. We got the good vibes going tonight. Any further thoughts still, Paul, on that before we hand it over to the panel?
I had something and I lost it. I lost my train.
Oh,
But
you lost your train. Check that dark tunnel down the street. It might be there. All right, let's end with Meg. You seem like a guy that may have had a couple of hairs grow out during the Medal of Honor days. So, how do you feel about it all?
You know what? First of all, I saw this. Again, just like you, I didn't see this coming at all. This came out of left field, and I'm just like, "What the hell is this? Medal of Honor? What's going on?" And then I saw it was a VR game, and I was double excited because I actually have an Oculus Quest. I absolutely adore that thing. And this is a day one purchase for me. Now, I understand it's coming this holiday season. So this gives me a really good opportunity to fire up that Oculus Quest. By the way, on a side note, best game on Oculus Quest, hands down, Vader Immortal. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Holy mackerel. That game is so good. And so, oh my God, when Vader comes up to you, you are scared shitless because he's like 8 feet tall in this game. And anyways, back on topic. But anyways, I'm sorry to get it. Now, I thought about playing, an FPS in VR. Okay, that's mind-blowing to me because the setting in World War II sounds great. The whole you see if you watch that trailer, that whole like resistance vibe with like the secret doorway, like you do like the little bat cave, like play the piano and the door and the wall opens up and stuff.
Yeah.
And it almost had like as opposed to like a strict, like let's say a Call of Duty or Battlefield first-person shooter, it almost came across like a Black Ops kind of style missions. Where you're going to be sabotaging stuff and blow up the windmill or something, whatever the hell you're doing. And that's right up my alley. So I kind of like that sort of espionage, that kind of thing, right? So that was good. Now, the shot in the trench with the tank rolling over the top, when you're in the trench and the tank is like, like I can imagine me like literally pissing my pants when that thing comes around because when you really get into VR and you get into something that's intense, holy mackerel, it really gets you in there. Now, the one thing, though, I'm only going to ask this. Now, this is just a personal thing. 90% of all the games I've purchased on the Oculus Quest are rated. Now, they have a rating system. I don't know if you've seen this. It's rated green, orange, or red. Okay. Now, green is when you look at the game, it says green and it says comfortable. And then it says orange, moderate, and then red is intense. And honest to God, man, 90% of my games are green. And they just make them that way because they want it more accessible. Right. Why don't you make this game red? Like really make it intense, like really scare the shit out of you to really make you feel like you're in a war. Yeah. Give me a red Medal of Honor. Like I want to be scared. I want to be in the war. Like give me that experience. I mean,
you want to think that blood's really splattering on your face, dude.
Yeah, or like the shots of like. Can you imagine sitting there and the shots of like I don't even know how to pronounce that goddamn gun. Gruyere. Gruyere's a cheese. Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. The bloody gun that starts with a G, the bolt action rifle. Yeah. Imagine one of those bullets. That's it. Imagine the bullets ripping by your head, and you're like, phew, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ!
Well, that's just it. Like that's just it though. We've had a lot of World War games, but have we had at least a really good one that's been in VR? And the fact that Respawn is behind it gives me. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be long or that kind of thing because a lot of VR games typically aren't, and I can't see how they would have dedicated a whole studio to make like this really long VR game. But we've seen a lot of promising games over the last while, including Sparhawk mentioned Half-Life Alyx, which got a lot of attention, that sort of thing. So, I'm definitely stoked. Like I said, having Respawn behind it, at least a talented studio, gives me hope that it's going to be really well done. So now, I'm on board with it.
Now, the other thing is the Oculus Quest has sort of limited hardware, so you're not going to get a huge AAA budget on or at least it'll be dumbed down a little bit on the Oculus Quest. I'm totally fine with that. But with Respawn, the reason why I'm totally fine with that is because Respawn is a part of this and they put on excellent productions, whether it's music, whether it's their sound design, some of the visuals, the things like that, the storytelling, the pacing of the stories are always really good from Respawn. So I expect that caliber for this now.
That was what I forgot about. I was going to mention that even though Respawn's behind it, EA's got their fingers in it, and I do not trust EA. Okay,
there's a train.
What he's saying is normally when you put fingers around a hole, it's good, not when they got hot sauce on it. All right? Well, the thing is, like, that's another thing. Like when I think Titanfall 3 comes out, and I think eventually we will see a Titanfall 3. I highly suspect there will be a VR mode for the next Titanfall game.
That'd be so awesome. Now, there was one more thing you mentioned. The Cerebral Paul, you asked him about his favorite Medal of Honor,
Yes.
and all of a sudden, the first thing that popped in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I want to tell Noof this.
I hope it's the one I'm thinking it is.
Now, hold on a second. I'm going to give an honorable mention first and foremost. Okay, real shout out to the 2002 Allied Assault, because if I'm not mistaken, that might have actually been the first Medal of Honor I've ever played. And that opening on the Omaha Beach, the D-Day
Guys, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Shit.
Yep.
Oh, maybe it's my connection. My connection is going a little bit wonky here.
Alrighty.
I lost you for a second. I wasn't sure it was you.
Oh, no, I'm still here.
Go ahead. Keep it going.
No, it's all good. I was going to say that at that time, that 2002 Allied Assault, I think it was called Allied Assault.
Allied Assault, yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. That was as closest to get to the opening of Saving Private Ryan you're ever going to get. And I remember playing that and I'm going, oh my God, and it blew my mind. But my pick, was the 2011 essentially reboot of Medal of Honor, the one that took place in the Middle East. You remember the one?
Yes.
The one in that.
No, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Warfighter 2, the first one.
No. Warfighter.
It was just called Medal of Honor.
It was just called Medal of Honor.
Yeah,
but it had those what do you call it? Like the wolf guys. It was like the special ops dudes.
Yeah, man. And that one, that game was so incredible. I loved that campaign. Never mind the multiplayer. I put. Oh, geez. I must have put in about 70, 80, maybe almost 100 hours into the multiplayer. I loved it that much. And the other thing is the campaign was so good that I went back and played it in the extreme hardcore mode. Now, get this. If you died and only took like one bullet, maybe 2 bullets, and you were dead, you had to start the whole level from the beginning.
Damn.
So
old school.
Yeah, like really old school. Like there was no checkpoints in the extreme hardcore mode, right? So I actually finished that campaign on that because I loved it so much that I actually studied it. I knew where everybody popped out from and this and that. And man, that was such a good game. But anyways, I don't expect this to be the same thing. I think this is going to be more like an air quotes experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we're going to get an experience, kind of like, I mentioned Vader Immortal. I think each episode was only about an hour and a half each.
Right.
So like the entire 3 parts was maybe 4 hours at most.
Yeah.
I don't think Medal of Honor will even be that long. And maybe they'll drop because it's EA. It's EA. Okay, they might drop
EA.
They'll drop missions later on for like $5 a piece or something, like a single mission. They're like, oh, we're gonna add on this mission and add on like over the next year or so. I could see that. So
there's 1,000 ways EA can put their hand in this pie and jack it up.
Well, that's the other thing because VR games aren't $60 American, 80 Canadian. They're like $35, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, at least Canadian. So the 35 Canadian. So I could see them charging the full $35 for it, and then, or maybe even $40. And then after they're going to start, that's when they're going to start jabbing you with like $5 for like extra missions and this and that, whatever, right? Like DLC. Yeah. But I'm in.
All right, cool. That's good. We're going to get Titan in here, but let's catch up with the chat. VJ, welcome to the podcast. Glad you could be in the chat. Great podcast with you guys last night on Primetime Gaming. That was awesome. We got Dreadpool hanging out with us, baby. Spar Hockey is here. Spider-Man, Timothy Dixon. The list goes on. Cyber Gunter, Born Distracted, Crazy Greek Dude. Yeah, man, Try Hard fan. Good crowd here already. I'll weigh in on the Medal of Honor, but right after Titan spills his beans. Titan, where does this one stand on the boner meter? Probably low because I have a funny feeling you don't have a quest.
You know me, it's very low. I'm noticing it's getting harder and harder to impress me, especially with like
a pun?
Not intended. especially with like FPS games and third person games. Like games like this, they missed the mark with me completely. Not to mention VR makes me sick, like dizzy as hell. So, but to me, Medal of Honor has always been like the second-rate COD, in my opinion. And the version we were talking about earlier, the Medal of Honor, that latest version we were all talking about.
Yeah.
That was like the closest to COD, and it actually competed with it. And like, and it kind of sucks that they're kind of taking this route with it, because this is Respawn, like Mag said. Like they're very. I respect the hell out of Respawn, and they do amazing work. They're just they just took this game in a different direction instead of going a different path and maybe bringing this game to the forefront and actually competing with Call of Duty and so as far as like Mag was right there, I don't understand why you don't really go for something unique and special when it comes to like that VR. Like that's the biggest miss for me with this game. If they're gonna go VR, that's all right. We're in uncharted territory with a first person shooter that looks like this. Yeah. Really up the game, like Mag said. Throw yourself in these crazy situations that you're gonna remember that are that are gonna stick with you.
Well, I think that it largely will. Like, I think Mag alluded to that. Like, that's one thing about a lot of these VR games, that the majority of them aren't like console ports with just a VR mode. Right. A lot of them are built around VR and the sort of the technology or the advantages that it normally has, like, the motion control, the head tracking, that sort of thing, the 3D audio visual and placement and different things. And they'll often build a level that would be different than a standard level built with a just standard controller, because they know that you're going to look at it and play it in a different way. Like you said, that's the thing that VR brings that no other experience does, is when that tank goes over your head, it's going to look massive and it's going to rumble and it's going to feel like it's going to crush you. When a bomb drops next to you, it's going to feel more visceral. When you see like bullets flying by and the dirt flying at you in VR, I think it's just going to be completely nuts. Like Portal play, and that's one of the few games, like Resident Evil 7. He just brought it up. Is in VR, and they did the VR mode. That's a standard game, but like people that played Resident Evil in VR are like, dude, they said it's like almost two different games. It's the same game, but it's so crazy in VR. It like will make you shit your pants. I know people are just like, wow, like this game's on a whole nother level, right? So, so that's pretty cool. Dr. Dinglenut, what's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. I love the name. Juan Castillo, what's up, Juan? Glad you could be here. Yeah, man. So, Titan, what was your favorite Medal of Honor game, if you had one?
It was that Medal of Honor that we were talking about.
Okay. Yes, the 2011 one.
I'm with you guys. I love the old ones too, but when Call of Duty came out, I found that Medal of Honor, just like you said, Medal of Honor was the original World War shooter, but Call of Duty sort of took it to another level. Medal of Honor sort of tallied off. It kind of got lost in translation. Of course, it went through a lot of different studios. They had a lot of different games that came out on a lot of different platforms, and that sort of thing. Whereas Call of Duty, one thing that Call of Duty's had for years is consistency, right? Love them or hate them, Call of Duty's been very consistent with what they did. That was the thing with that game that I love, and that was my favorite as well, was that Medal of Honor from, I think, 2011 or 12 or whatever it was. It was designed by a studio called Danger Close. Now, they used the Frostbite engine, so they brought it over from Battlefield, but what they tried to do, they tried to make a campaign, which I love the campaign. I thought it was phenomenal. Like that campaign, Mag said, like I played it several times. It was nuts. It just felt very real, the way it was perceived, the way it was designed, just everything was so cool about the game. And we really hadn't been to that point either. Like hadn't sort of seen that environment where you kind of felt like you were in the Middle East, in the middle of this, at the time, sort of all this terrorism kind of stuff, the Taliban and stuff, because essentially what you were doing. And it was designed not only by gamers, but Danger Close also had a lot of guys on their, on their board and on their panel who are actually Spec Ops guys. So they helped tailor make those missions based on actual missions they were actually involved in. So that's really cool. It was like, and that game really got overlooked, because I think at the time, it came out next to one of the Call of Duty games and it got overshadowed. And I like the multiplayer because they took the DICE, the Frostbite engine, the whole DICE, because I think it was Danger Close to the campaign. I think DICE had something to do with the multiplayer, or they helped out, but the maps were smaller. The maps were like Call of Duty small, but it still had that destruction and that sort of battlefield feel a little bit. So it was kind of a transition between two games. I loved it. I played the shit out of it. I loved the multiplayer. I played it on PlayStation. I played it on Xbox, and it was amazing. And I don't know why people didn't gravitate to it, but that game was highly overlooked. Unfortunately, the sequel, which came out, was Medal of Honor Warfighter. I did not like the sequel. They changed it too much, and I just thought the second one was just crappy.
Yep, it was
garbage. Yeah, the multiplayer just changed so much. They tried to make it like something else, and I couldn't get into the second one. And of course, that was pretty much it. That almost killed the franchise after that. Kind of took a big long hiatus. So, but anyway, when we beat this one to death, I know a lot of people could give a shit about VR and probably even Medal of Honor. But hey, if you do have an Oculus 5 or a Quest, I think that would definitely be a game you might not want to miss this coming fall. We got Michael Monkey Punch Lugo. Astray Gaming is in the house. What's going on, guys? Thanks for being here. Let's get to the next topic, and then we will bring in the Ask Arnold portion of the night. Just real quick, guys, if anybody, I didn't pay a lot of attention to this week, but does anybody have any highlights or games they'd like to talk about from Gamescom, which kind of went down over the last couple of days? Anybody? If you don't worry about it. I can't even think of a lot. I mean, obviously Ratchet and Clank, but I saw a lot of indie games, stuff that just didn't really jive at me.
One game that had potential was that werewolf game. That thing has potential.
Yep, that one looked awesome. And one that I downloaded the demo for, hang on all day, because it's on Steam, or going to be on Steam, and they already have the demo. Solasta, which is the AD&D based RPG game.
Oh, cool!
Using the 5.1 rule set or whatever it is.
What was that called? That one you're talking about?
Solasta, Solasta.
Is that the one with the enemy that some people love and some people hate?
I don't know. I believe
that's it.
Yeah, it's truly based on AD&D. So if you're a Dungeons and Dragons player, you'll recognize the build, the skill set, everything.
That is the one I'm thinking of.
Right.
You're right. That one did look good. And also another one was Drake Hollow. This was it's a little bit of a different game, kind of Grounded-esque.
It's a cross between Grounded and Fortnite.
Yeah,
really. I saw it last night on the Ambassador channel. Actually,
yeah, that one kind of moved my meter a little bit. What about you, Mag?
You know what? I mean, besides the obvious, Ratchet and Clank was like the big draw of the show.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on, I'm still gonna buy it
with Ratchet and Clank.
I'm still gonna buy it. You know how magnificent that's gonna look. I'm buying the goddamn game. All right, so I'm
You're
buying
a
it.
PS5. You're getting Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
I fucking love the last one.
I loved it too, man. And so I'm gonna be down day one for those, but. Yeah, the one that really caught my attention though, and it is a smaller title, but my God, I love the first one so much. Little Nightmares 2. Did you guys check it out?
Yes.
Okay, I adored the first one. I got over 2,000 achievement points in that game because I loved it so much. I went back and played all the levels, got all the achievements. As soon as I was done, the first thing I said was, "More of this, please."
That's such bull crap that you can get 2,000 achievement points from that gamer score, and I'm sitting here putting hundreds of days into Smite, and I get the same thing. Like, what the hell? That's not fair.
You're playing the wrong because you're playing Smite. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
That's your punishment.
Play Smite.
Yeah, that's your punishment for playing a shitty game. Sorry if I offended anybody, but
playing with that community is punishment.
You don't want to play Clank, but he'll play
Yes, Timothy. It launched on Game Pass.
Anyway, I loved it. So I can't. Like I said, as soon as I was done, I was like, "More of this, please. Let's do this, man." And now I'm getting it. So now I'm super ready for that. And if I'm not mistaken, it is coming out February 2nd, 2021.
Right.
Little Nightmares 2, and I will be there day one for that one as well because that first one was so dope. I loved every second of it.
That was a really unique game, wasn't it? It kind of really had that Tim Burton feel, like done with like a claymation. Yeah, very creepy, great environments.
Like the adults was trying to eat you or something. Like, I couldn't figure out what was going on, but it scared the shit out of me. I loved it, man. I loved that. So I really look forward to a second one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all that caught my attention.
Yeah, like so for me, it's essentially Ratchet and Clank. I mean, obviously, it's a next gen looking, Ratchet and Clank game. The last one looked absolutely phenomenal. Insomniac, man, they're just killing it right now. I talked about that last night. on Primetime Gaming how like Insomniac's pumped out 4 or 5 games in the last few years and all quality games.
They're a
And
factory.
there's other studios that can't even get one out in 5 or 6 years. It's like so, you know, either you got a problem, you don't know how to operate your company, or you don't know how to work your game engines or something. But let's catch up with the chat. We got Froggy T right in the house. What's happening, Froggy? We got Slinky M, and we got our good brother Saltiest Game. What's up, brother Salt? Hope you're doing well, brother. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the show. Yeah, so let's move on. Let's get to the Ask Arnold segment, and while we're waiting for some questions to come in, unless the panel already got some lined up, we're going to talk about a tweet that Microsoft just put out yesterday, which is kind of interesting. But it is the time to Ask Arnold. So if you guys don't know how this works, new to the podcast, well, Arnold is our special guest here, and he's on standby right now. You just think of any wacky question that you've always wanted to ask Arnold, and he will answer it for you as best that he can. So we'll start with the panel while people in the chat are drumming up their questions. Anyone on the panel have a question for Mr. Arnold?
Yeah,
Maybe
Arnold.
Cerebral Paul's got something.
No, I got nothing at this point.
You got nothing.
Arnold, I got one. So, Arnold, are you going to upgrade to that beastly 3090? And if so, where are you going to put it?
I have no idea to put it in my computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a bar through the ends of it, and I'm going to pump iron with it. I'll apply one for the left arm and one for the right arm, and I'm going to pump it up, and then I'll plug it into the wall. When the friggin' fans are going, it'll be blowing my hair, and I will be loving it. It's going to be great. It's all the power I could ever need in a 3080. Let's do it. Come on, let's go, chat.
Nice. I think Arnold's got Arnold's got a question maybe for Paul.
Paul, first of all, I want to welcome you to the show. It's great that we can have you here. So, Paul, I want to know is what do you do to keep yourself pumped up, man? What do you do to keep your arms and your mind and everything else in shape?
Well, my right arm's a little more pumped up than my left, but we won't go into that. Other than that, you know, with this whole pandemic thing, you know, I don't do a whole lot of anything.
Oh, so what you're saying is you do the five finger weight shake, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Know exactly what you mean. I use that too all the time. It keeps my grip fantastic, really strong when I'm using the dumbbells.
Anybody else on the panel? Meg?
Actually, I just want to know, is it even humanly possible for you to bench press the PS5?
I've already tried it. I secretly went to Japan and got a chance to look at the system, and I tried to bench press it, and I don't know if it was I got distracted because somebody plugged it in and the fan started going, and I thought there was a 747 was going to crash on my head, and then the fucking thing just fell down on my chest, and I had to try to bench press it up, and then of course some shithead brings over the controller and he's like blowing it in my ear, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This thing is falling on me. The thing is blowing. The controller is blowing. I'm like, what the fuck is kind of system is this? It's gigantic. It looks like a spaceship out of some kind of old fat movie. It's crazy.
Questions? Let's see here.
Arnold,
Froggy.
are you going to join during the community game night?
Froggy says, Arnold, do you like Duke Nukem or Master Chief?
I'm going to go with Duke Nukem because similarly, Duke Nukem is pretty much made about me. He's basically like the more vulgar version of my character from the movie Commando, if you're familiar. So I really want to say Duke Nukem is awesome. I love that game. I love his one-liners. He has a lot of them just like me. So that's why I like that game.
What was this see here? Arnold, did you see the 3090 is taller than the Xbox Series X?
Yes, I did see that. It's massive. Like I said, I want to use it for my barbell set. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it on there, and we're going to pump some iron.
What else we got here? Hey, Arnold, would you like to play in a Marvel movie?
Absolutely, would love to be in a Marvel movie, but I don't know you guys. Which character do you think that I can honestly play? I don't really know. I think maybe I would be great for the Hulk. But I'm kind of old now. That's the problem. I'm like the Hulk minus the steroids. I'm all saggy. I'm starting to look a little bit like old lady's tits at this point. You know, everything's sagging out all over the place. You know, it's no matter how much you pump iron when you're like in your 70s, stuff just don't sit in the right place anymore. You know, I mean, now my dick sticks onto my leg all the time, you know, when I'm trying to do push-ups. So,
Arnold, how do you like being a downloadable character in Mortal Kombat 11?
I love being the downloadable character, Titan, but the problem is they went out and they used some guy who can't even do my voice. I was really pissed off about that. He sounded weird. It was like Arnold Schwarzenegger had something in his throat and got drunk.
All righty. Last chance, guys. If you got any more questions, we'll take one more before we head on to the next topic. We all good? All right. That's it for Ask Arnold for tonight. Fantastic stuff, guys. We'll see you again next week. Hope you enjoyed those answers from Mr. Arnold himself. Anybody new in the chat? Crispy Bomb is here. I knew I heard an explosion. Salty says I'm going to get the 3070 for $4.99. Salty going all out on that sucker. Yeah, let's get over to another topic of the evening here, guys. So I don't know if you noticed this one. I mean, obviously, and me and Mag last night, we had a great discussion about this on Primetime Gaming about Xbox and kind of what they're doing right, but more or less sort of the messaging that they're not getting right. And this one's confusing. We all know they kind of blew it at the July show. They've been absolutely silent as shit here lately. And they put out this tweet, mentally, we're here. And then it says holiday 2020. So what the hell do you guys think that means? Is that good or bad? Mentally, we're here, but physically, you're nowhere to be found. So let's weigh in on this. Titan, what do you think about that tweet from Microsoft? Does it instill confidence in you?
Yeah. Everyone that knows me knows I'm one of the biggest Xbox fans there is, right? But I have to come to the realization, I think, that I may never understand Xbox marketing. I mean, it just may never happen. Let's look at the current situation, okay? Strongest console by far in nearly every aspect. Super strong lineup of games shortly after launch. The PlayStation is struggling with their marketing right now, but at least they're pushing stuff out there, right? And they have pretty minimalistic things going for them right now. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, you're talking about Mag buying Ratchet and Clank, and that's like their selling point.
Come on, man.
I mean, my point is Ratchet and Clank shouldn't be it shouldn't be what you're talking about. But then Xbox is doing no better because they have all this stuff going for them and they're not pushing it out there. They're not throwing it out to the public's face.
At least Ratchet and Clank is pretty. Xbox had Craig.
Yeah, come on, man. Those cute little ears.
But I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'll weigh in a second, man. This is crazy. Dr. Dinglenet says that tweet didn't make any sense. Absolutely. What the fuck? I don't know what they're doing, man. They need to fire the marketing person. Yeah, I don't know. I think Greenberg's days are getting numbered. That's for sure.
I mean, what is that? Like, is that supposed to instill like some type of like? What does that do? That does nothing for me, the hardcore gamer.
Mentally, we're here.
It just confuses the core gamer.
God.
Like, what the hell is this about? Like, this literally focuses nobody, and that's what's killing.
It would have been better if they said something like, "We're listening," you know. Something like that would have made
all right,
sense.
So you're listening, start
Or how
talking.
about nothing?
Or nothing. Yeah, just keep your mouth shut, you know. Stop throwing fucking, what do you call it? Riddler fucking rhymes out there, you know.
Froggy got a good one in the chat. Froggy T right. Yeah, they started out strong. I agree. And they had no plan B after a Halo take. That's a good point.
Yeah, some shit's going on. Meg, jump in.
Yeah, man. Listen, when you were reading that tweet just now, and you were talking about, I actually had to mute my microphone because I was trying not to laugh over Titan because it is literally the most ridiculous thing I think they've ever said. When you sent that to me, I'm like, was that real? Yeah. And it was real. And I have no clue what the fuck they're talking about. I've said it a million times before. The Xbox transparency is good, but sometimes you just need to shut your fucking mouth and just, like, honest to God, man, just let great games, even though, you know, we don't know what's going on there right now, but and services, they got great services, do the talking. You see Sony doing this shit? No. You know what they do? Let me tell you what they do. We all know what they do, but I'm going to tell you anyway. They walk out quiet, not like me. They walk out quiet on the stage, no stupid tweets, okay? And they flop that big Sony dong right out of their pants, and they lay it out on the table, okay, with no words coming out their mouth, just flop right on the table, and they show you exactly why you're buying their consoles and their games. Okay, without a word. Okay, they just zip flop, and they're going, "Oh, right, that's why we're getting the PS5." That's what they do. This is honest to God, man. This is 100%. Like, I mean, it's getting comical now. This is 100% their last chance to get their message right. Okay, come September.
And as well, and you guys going into this too. Not only is that confusing, but here's another thing that's kind of confusing. Cyberpunk 2077. Then they show this off at Gamescom, and it was running on PlayStation.
Don't even get me started.
What the fuck is up with that?
I don't know.
They got the marketing rights on one of the biggest games of the decade, and it's showing it off on PlayStation. Makes absolutely no sense.
Hold on a second right there, because this is maybe the one spot I could see a reason for them not doing this, right? And that reason being essentially whatever Xbox shows, it just really like there's just so many more Xbox haters out there that are just gonna nitpick. So the things that they show prior to launch, right? Like the gameplay that they show prior to launch, they're just gonna find that one, that one frame that has what's his name with the Halo. What the hell's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
We're gonna do that.
No, the Halo.
Oh, Craig.
Yes, they're gonna find the one frame with Craig's face on it. They're gonna make a meme out of this and that. So that's the one thing I can kind of see why Xbox is making that decision.
Yeah, right. But you know what? Sorry.
Let's just replace Craig with fucking Keanu Reeves in Halo. There we go.
You know what the thing is, though? If you have a great game, like really great game, strong story, great gameplay, that kind of stuff, people will overlook stupid shit, okay? Because yesterday, I rode my horse in Ghost of Tsushima through a fucking tree.
The problem is, Mag, when you do it pre-launch, you can't do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But you see what I'm getting at, though? Like, you look, if someone freeze frames a shot of a Craig, let's say in the future build of Halo, if the game is magnificent, people just be like, shut up. You're just being melodramatic. Because I literally, but you know what, like I was saying, like Ghost of Tsushima is so good that when I got off my horse and his head and his neck was stuck in a tree and the only thing that was sticking out was his ass, and I'm sitting there, I got off the horse and I'm looking at it and I'm going, wow, that's magnificent. I don't see any
screenshot. Stumpy?
I'm like sitting there going, I didn't see any tweets about this, but you see a lot of Craigs. But that's fine. People are going to do that. But if you build a magnificent game, people forget all that stupid stuff. They'll let that shit go.
And you know what would help, Mag, is if Xbox, if they got a guy, and it's really going to take some type of position, like it should be somewhere in the marketing team, but a guy that's responsible for looking at these videos before they go live and editing the hell
They're getting paid a hell of a lot more than us. I'd like that.
Yeah, like why are you not editing Craig's face out of Halo? Why are you not editing?
It's almost like not proofreading a book before sending it to print.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Xbox should put the video. Xbox should re-release the video again, but instead place Betty White's face on it.
There you go.
That would sell millions
that way. Yeah, that'd get more sales.
But
hey. Can I speak to this whole situation?
Yeah, man. Jump in on there, brother. Let me know how you think about that.
Here's the thing. I think they did make a mistake sending out this stupid tweet. I don't mind the silence because I'd rather they be silent until their big show coming up in a couple of weeks than do what they did. Because Sony, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm probably going to get some hate mail for this, every time they've been stepping out lately, they've been putting their foot in it. They've been overhyping stuff as, it's going to be an exclusive. Okay, it's a timed exclusive.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Those of us who understand what's going on go, that's not the whole truth. You're trying to hype stuff up, but the hype's not there.
But
PlayStation, if you guys have followed PlayStation, they've been doing this for years, and they literally lied on their boxes before.
But it doesn't matter. It works.
Well, it works for the fanboys,
But it even works for the general public. Like
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
talking
they don't
about
know their
any
lives.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know any better. You know how many people came to me at I have a lot of teenage kids that work for me, okay? Like 18 to 20 years old. And they're all gamers, but they're not hardcore like us. They're not doing podcasts and not talking about all this shit. They just they would come in and be like, this is last 2 years ago, by the way. They're like, oh man, did you see Red Dead Redemption 2's only on PlayStation?
Yep.
And I'm
I
like,
had
"What?"
this. I had one of my friends say that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm playing it on Xbox One X right now. And then he's like, he goes, well, I walked by EB Games. EB Games is the GameStop in Canada. And he's like, yeah, I walked by EB Games and it said exclusive.
Yeah.
And then if you take the magnifying glass up to it, okay, underneath the exclusive, it says exclusive hat and slacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it says exclusive
Yeah.
really big.
Exclusive, but it's just DLC on there. Yeah.
By the way, there's
Hey.
one quick other point. Sorry, go ahead, Paul. You go first, better.
No, not you. I'm yelling at the dog who's ripping apart my pillow.
Oh, never mind. Get
But
the
no,
dog
I
in the mic.
did
Yeah,
want
but
to
time
speak.
in, brother. Yeah, go ahead.
I did want to speak to the comment in chat. Time exclusive, just to say exclusive, is misleading. Okay, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
from an advertising point of view, it's extremely misleading.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
And they
we're-
know what they're doing. They
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Out
Let's
of-
not,
out
let's
of the
not
what-
cover that up. Let's not
Mhm.
cover that up and say there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you're misleading the consumer, there's something wrong with that.
what was it? They listed 25 games and only actually 6 of them were truly exclusives or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, even Ratchet and Clank isn't a launch title; it's a launch window title.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know what the
wondering about
launch
that.
window is. Okay.
And by the way, you know what? They have a chance, by the way. Microsoft's got a really good shot here because I think the news came out. I saw the news about 2 hours before the show tonight. Is that they're going to be presenting first at the Tokyo Game Show. Did you guys see this?
Oh, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah. Okay. So the Tokyo. Oh, excuse me. The Tokyo Game Show is September 24th, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because it's in Japan, obviously. So and Microsoft is opening the Tokyo Game Show with a game showcase.
Mm.
That's batshit. Okay, that's incredible because you know what? Honestly, like now that I'm thinking about this, that's actually a pretty ballsy big statement.
They could
By
throw
Microsoft.
Sony under the bus doing
Yeah.
that.
Well, this is the thing. You're the first presenter in Tokyo. That's big balls
Yep.
because
Yeah.
you're going first in Sony's backyard.
Yep.
This is Tokyo, Japan. We're talking, folks. Okay, this is where Sony's headquarters is, and Microsoft is
Only,
presenting first.
only problem with that is only like 6 people going to show up.
No,
But you know what?
In all serious,
If they announce the price at that early in the morning, they could throw Sony under the bus, literally, where Sony's going to go, shit, what are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And you know the thing is, there is interest. They like, you know, I know there's like a big bitch fest on Twitter and YouTube and but you know what? Honestly, there is a lot of interest in the new Xbox, so it's not like it's all doom and gloom here.
Right.
I'm buying 2 of them, okay, on day one. So there's no question here. I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Did you guys see the Gamescom after Gamescom ended? They had an awards section. They had an award,
Yeah.
like a post show.
Yeah.
Xbox One. I almost fell off my chair. Xbox won the most wanted hardware award.
wow.
The runners up were Amico and xCloud.
Yeah.
I didn't see Ouya on the list. Yeah, so they won most wanted hardware. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, they got to come strong, renewed, fresh, especially with a proper battle plan, confident and ready to fight. And they need to lay this all out in a clear, concise manner. And so now that I've seen this this Tokyo Game Show thing, here's their chance, man.
And in all seriousness, Meg, like you're right, but in order to do that, they like Xbox marketing, and they got to get this plan, and they really just got to grab their nuts and go for it. And
They
I
gotta
really
start
don't
landing.
think I just don't see them doing that. They have not been like, oh my God, if I was marketing, if I was there, like everyone would know the stats and there would be every comparison paste everywhere. I would point out the competition, how you're better than them in every way possible.
Yeah.
Let it come from you. Don't let these influencers and YouTubers just make whatever crap up they want. Get all the facts out there.
That's right. Don't give muddled messages and like these whimsical little sentences of bullshit. where you don't
mentally we're here.
Yeah, mentally we're here. Yeah, what the fuck is that? Can you give us a clear answer? You know, and that's the other thing when it comes to messaging. You know, I don't want to get all into that, but I mean, I'm just saying, if you just come out and just say it, no one can screw with your words, just like Titan said.
Yeah. My take on the whole thing is that, I think they're trying to say is that, you know, we're in the game. We got the right focus, but obviously, you know, we messed up. So like they're still on track. I think it's kind of what they're trying to say. But ultimately, like I said, the proof is in the pudding. I've always said this, and this goes for both consoles. And I said this again last night, that for the first time in any console release generation, I felt less excitement for this generation than any other one. And it's simply because neither one has been very direct and very focused with their messaging. You know, either one. You know, right now Sony's been putting a lot of their messaging, and I see a lot of their tweets about their controller, their haptic feedback, and their 3D audio, and all of these other features. Right? Of course, Microsoft's the most powerful console. Blah 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 blah.
I don't want a controller. I got to blow. I want a controller that's going to blow me. I'm just saying.
Hey, we can fix that for you.
Give me two.
We'll put a couple of buttons on a vacuum cleaner for you. Oh man. So,
and to be fair, part of all this is the whole pandemic thing, threw everybody for a loop. I think that's one of the reasons that they're not jumping out there and saying we got this, because they probably honestly don't know what's going to be ready. You know,
right. that is true. But like at the end of the day, these guys got to get this out. Yeah. They got to release this date and the price. They got to go. Somebody got to drop their balls, because we're 2 months away here. People haven't fucking even pre-ordered this thing yet. Like these things are almost showing up in warehouses at this point. Like this dude's somebody's got to take the lead. I got a funny feeling that Xbox is honestly waiting their longest for Sony to go first, because we know that whoever comes out and goes first is going to be one up by the other guy. And the other guy is going to look like the fucking hero, like they had it planned all along, right? So that's how it's going to be.
And I know Sony's already been sending out emails to their, you're selective, you've been a customer for a long time, you can pre-order the PlayStation.
Yes, I mentioned this earlier in the week.
We don't know how much it's going to cost, but you can pre-order it.
I'm glad you brought that up, Cerebral. I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually like that, what PlayStation is doing there. So what they're doing, so their pre-orders are going to be slim, right? So they're actually hand picking. They're looking at, the time played on the service. They're looking at your trophies, and you know what? The people with the most action on the servers and the most trophies, those people get, front of the line privileges. I think that's awesome. I wish Xbox would do. I don't think Xbox is in the is quite as in the quite the number of consoles crunch at launch, or whatever you want to say, but I do like that. What do you guys think? I think that's cool.
Well, it makes the player feel special.
Yeah,
it does.
And you know what that does? That all but guarantees that player will not, even unless they plan on buying both. If they were only going to buy one, you've basically painted them into a corner that they're buying a PS5 now, because you're like, well, they just offered it to me. Why would I say no? Right. And so you're reaching out to that fan base. That's a brilliant move by Sony. That's a brilliant move by Sony.
Or it could be, Sony's been known to overhype stuff just for the purpose of hyping it. Like, we're going to be short on supply. You better get it now.
But it also gives legitimate gamers a chance to get top dibs instead of all the scalpers who, are chomping at the bit to try to buy 2 or 3 consoles and jack the shit out of them. That's guaranteed is going to happen day one.
Problem is when those scalpers are the ones that play the most.
You know what the thing is, and they got those bots, right, that do all the ordering, the pre-ordering and stuff like that. They're rubbing their hands right now, waiting for these 2 consoles to be announced in terms of the release date and pre-orders.
Yeah,
bunch of pricks. I hate them. I'm sorry. I have no love for them. There's nothing worse than seeing a Nintendo Switch come out and then the day later it's $5,000 on eBay. It's like,
I know. I'm with you, bro. Like when the NES Classic come out, how fucking hard it was to get one of those things.
Yep.
And knowing that there was guys stockpiling them, selling them for, 3 and 4 times the price that they were. I was like, there's no way in hell. I said, I'll wait. But I also blame that too. I blame that largely on Nintendo as well, because Nintendo knew what the fuck they were doing. That's why they kept the demand so high. They choked the market. And, like Nintendo's smart. They know what they're doing. Like, how hard can it be to make a little plastic box with a fucking 8-bit chip in it? Like,
Right.
seriously,
That's
like,
their
come
MO,
on,
though.
man.
That's their
Right?
MO. They've always been doing. They've been
They
doing that for
did
years.
that. They started to do it, and then finally, when the Super NES Classic came out, they released more, and then they re-released the NES Classic again with more numbers, and people finally started to get them. But like, look at the Sega Genesis Classic. Nobody had trouble getting that one.
Nope.
Sega didn't fucking choke the shit out of it, right?
Now you go to Costco the week after they released it and pick up 20 of them.
Yeah, they're on the fucking skids. It's like, see the difference between Sega and, come on, man. Like, nobody's buying what Nintendo lays down while we're buying it, but that's the problem. Like, they're fucking dirty that way. And Nintendo always does that shit, So, but anyway, let's get over to, we got shout out to the chat, guys. We got 37 amazing people. Sparhawk, Crispy Bomb, Prophet. What's going on, brother? Thanks for being here. Who else we got going on? Did I miss anybody tonight? I know we had James 176. James, I hope you're still hanging out with us. Froggy T. Wright, Mr. Glass, Spider-Man, Marlesco, Fugly, Fastback is here. Yeah, we have a good crew up in here tonight, guys. Thanks for being here. Always awesome. Yes, hit that like button or hit the down thumbs if you don't like us at all, whichever. Either way, it's all cool. But we got a good chat. Everybody's being very respectful tonight. I love that stuff.
A lot of participation too.
Yeah, a lot of participation. None of that fucking fanboy bullshit you get on a lot of other fucking podcasts. You go over, it's just nothing but trolls, fucking, trying to show that they're trolls. I hate that shit. Yeah. Everybody can have an opinion, but people can be just logical about it. We agree to disagree on certain things. We all do, but it's nice to see people having a mature conversation throughout the panel. And
getting harder and harder to find every day, Noof.
Harder and harder to find every day. Well, one thing you'll notice with Gaming After Dark is I don't fucking there's no clickbait bullshit in my titles, man. There's nothing there like that. So what you see is what you get. I ain't here to fucking rope and dope you guys. You guys are smarter than that. Our audience is smarter than that. We don't take you for fools, so you guys are awesome. But anyway, yeah, James, glad you could be here, brother. Appreciate it. Let's get over to Titan Drago's segment of the night.
Titan, all right, everyone. So if you've heard it before, you know that this is the skit from Conan O'Brien in the year 2000. Okay. And this is my gaming version of that called In the Next Generation. So mind you, my nose is running like a sieve. So I do not know how this is going to come out. Here we go. In the next generation. In the next generation, GameStop stock skyrockets. And the company is saved by nothing other than Newfonomics.
You might want to explain to people what Newfonomics actually is.
They'll learn a long time, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure.
Guys, have you ever heard the Newfonomics term? Is simply this: is people know me is like I normally just don't sell consoles. What I do is I buy a console when I don't have enough money to buy something else that I want. As I trade in said console, all the games with it, go get another console, and then 6 months later, I want that same console I just traded in. I trade another one again, and I keep going back and forth.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. That's why I've already had, 4 PlayStation 4s and a PS4 Pro?
Wow.
People love Newfonomics that know what it is.
Absolutely. But anyway, go ahead. Finish her up.
In the next generation. In the next generation, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X owners just make small monthly payments forever. Because neither company will tell anyone what the total cost of either system is.
Undisclosed.
In the next generation, the next generation, the world's first man-to-avatar marriage is held. That's an interesting one. In the next generation, nobody knows what we'll see first in the next generation. The price of the PS5, Series X, or Dealer Gaming's face. In the next generation. In the next generation, PlayStation fans still eagerly await any type of conference. All right, and that's it for this week, everyone. I'll see you next week on In the Next Generation.
Damn, Titan's nasal cavities are hitting the notes tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say you sounded better this week with a runny nose.
I surprised myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great stuff, guys. Hope you enjoyed the segment. Titan will be back same time, same place next week with the next generation. We got a few more topics before we kind of get out of here. And of course, Middle Age Game Guy's got his segment of the night. So we're going to drop that here very soon. So, yeah, let's let me see here. Which topic was it doing? So we know that the Series X, the Series S is a thing. I shared a picture with the guys in the chat that shows an Xbox Game Pass like card, and on it has the S in there, right? So the question is, for everybody on the panel and the guys in the chat, right? We know it exists. It's the worst kept secret in the industry. Why the fuck is taking them so long to even announce this thing? Will you buy it if it comes out? Who is the target audience, and what kind of price is it going to drop at? Now, my prediction is my prediction is the Xbox Series S will come out at $349, which would be a very attractive entry point, and that the Series X is going to launch at $499. That's a $150 difference, and a $150 difference for a lot of people is huge, and it should help push both consoles. I think $499 is going to be a great target for the hardcore guys who want the X, and I think $349 is going to be a massive sell-through point for the Series S if they hit that, because I definitely think they're going to want the Series S to be less than what the Xbox One X was when it launched. Plus, we're assuming it has no disk drive. It'll probably be an all digital edition, so it's easier to kind of cut the cost on that. So, how do you guys feel about that? Any particular predictions when we're going to see it? Who are they targeting this console for? All that good stuff.
Targeting what console?
The Xbox Series S. We know it exists. All of the brochures lead to it actually being in the wild. So,
all right, who wants to take this?
Who wants to go? Paul, you want to jump in?
I think it's gonna. The target is probably gonna be more for families, especially with kids who can't necessarily afford $500 for blowing for Christmas. But here's this console. We already have all these games we have access to with Game Pass and all that stuff, which is a big selling point nowadays. Hopefully the storage will be there, because that's the problem I run into on my Xbox.
That's something else. Speaking of storage, though, is because we know that the Series X is going to take those memory cards, but we have no idea if the Series, and I would assume the Series S would take them. You guys think so, Paul?
I think so. I think they'd be foolish not to.
100% they will.
Okay, so be for both consoles. Yeah, makes sense.
Because like I said, the Series X, the big boy, that's going to be for the serious gamer, and some families will get it, but Dad's going to be like, "That's mine. That one over there is yours. Stay away." Because I don't know enough about the hardware differences between the two, but I know there are some.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mag, have at it, man. Let me hear what you got. I want to hear what you got to say about this.
Well, okay, this is what I think about this. The Series S. This is the console. This is what you truly need to get the messaging right. Okay, I know we were talking about messaging and the other stuff earlier with the game show and all that. I think the Series X is possibly the most important one. Now, you got guys like Dealer, Colt, Rand, all those guys in the RDX posse, and they can explain that the Series X is more powerful than the One X, but the masses see things like, oh, it's a 4 teraflop machine. The One X is a 6, so it's less powerful. No, it's not. It's more powerful. The Series S, presumably, is more powerful, and it's likely to be a 1440, 60 FPS machine. Microsoft needs to explain this plainly and simply for the majority of casual consumers out there, right? Because for the most part, the Series X is targeting casuals. You were just asking, who are they targeting? They're targeting the casuals, but they're also, at the very least, they're also going to target, I'm thinking, PS5 owners who have a PS5 as their main console, and they want, let's say, a cheap entry level, and they want to dabble in the Xbox ecosystem, Game Pass, that kind of stuff, and they don't want to pay $500-$600. Then you go with the Series S. So at least they'll spend their big bucks on the PS5. And then as a secondary console, you know how a lot of people use the Nintendo Switch as a secondary console, right? Mm-hmm. Like a little cheaper. I think that they're targeting that for the Series S. That's what I'm saying. So, in my mind, don't be surprised if it outsells the Series X 3-1, guaranteed. Now, another market is the kids. Paul just said it a second ago. Kids, they don't really appreciate, honest to God, like I have kids. My kids don't appreciate the difference between 1080p or 4K, 30 FPS versus 60 FPS versus 120 FPS. They just want to play games. Now my wife, I mentioned it earlier in the show. My wife and I are both getting, we're getting 2 Series X day one, and we're getting a PS5 day one. Just one of them though, and that one of them is for me. And then if she wants to dabble in it, go right ahead. But my kids, guess what they're getting, folks? They're inheriting the Xbox One S.
Right.
Okay, because they don't give a shit. They're playing Lego, so they're just doing that, or Fortnite. So they're getting that. But when that's no longer supported, what are they getting? In 2 years from now, when the Series S is completely not being supported anymore, let's say, then I'm buying them a Series X. Sorry, I meant a 1S. Goddamn, names are so confusing.
Yeah, I know.
It's just I'm muddling them all up. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be buying them a Series S. So that's what people are going to be doing. So all in all, honestly, it's a genius move by Microsoft, but they have to nail the messaging correctly. And if they don't, honest to God, man, I'm going to throw my resume in the ring and show these guys how winning is done.
That's right.
I don't know what they're doing over there. Shit.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, this is Xbox's ace in the hole, right? This is their surprise punch. This is Rocky and Rocky 2 switching, from Southpaw to a standard fighter and back again, right? In the same fight. This is that in a nutshell. This is in the marketing world. Why you could say you have the most powerful in the Xbox Series X and the most consumer friendly entry level, just as Mag said. And I'm glad you said those words because it is entry level into the next generation of consoles.
Yes.
And this has never been done before. When you do something that has never been done before, people need to know about it. How are people going to know about it? With marketing. So really, you have since the marketing team is throwing out these random quotes, I guess we're just left with next month, right?
Yeah.
So really, you're right. You got one shot at this, and you know what? One shot isn't enough, in my opinion. They should have attacked this months ago. If they were gonna pull this, as soon as they decided to pull the trigger on this 1S, they need to be like, all right, let's put a marketing team together, let's put a plan together, and let people know about this because this has never been done before, and that's the most important part. If you think about it, the Xbox Series X is so powerful and at such a value, supposedly, if it comes in at $500, then Xbox has room to make this Series S entry model and really undercut the PS4. So that's their plan, obviously, right? So I kind of don't understand why Xbox is waiting on PlayStation to come out with their price. All right. So if Xbox actually does wait for PlayStation to come out with their price, right? I am gonna be so pissed if the Xbox Series X is more expensive than the PS5. Those two should be the same price.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what the hell is the point of waiting? You've got this plan. The Series S is gonna undercut the other one, right? Undercut the PS5. So what the hell? Oh my God! And if this could potentially go really bad for Xbox. I don't think that's the way it's going to go, but it has the potential, right? They could really fumble this ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think it's going to come in at around $349. Crispy in the chat, he's thinking $299 because we saw how well the Xbox One X did when it dropped to $299. The thing was just flying off the shelves. People knew they were getting a phenomenal system for a fantastic value, considering it was pretty much selling nearly as cheap as the Xbox One S. So, you can't lose either way with Microsoft right now, but again, it's the way that they do their messaging, right? Because we know that the PlayStation 5, their cheaper console is still the same console. It just omitting a disk drive. Now, where the Series S is not the Xbox One X at all. I mean, I think it still shares the same, it's going to have the same solid state hard drive. It'll share, I think, the same GPU, but it will have a different CPU. But obviously that CPU, for those not in the know, and I'm breaking it down in layman's terms, is not the x86 Jaguar core anymore. So it's not held back. It has more, what do you call it? Those compute units, the little things that has more of the transistors or whatever.
CUs, yeah.
It has more CUs than the Xbox One X has. So it has more potential. It just, the difference is it'll probably be, like you said, it'll probably be a 1080 1440p kind of box, which is great for people who, one, don't really care about the 4K or don't have 4K televisions and want to get the next gen at a great entry level price. And that is their ace in the hole. Xbox Series X obviously is for the hardcore guys who do want that 4K, maybe running at 4K 60, the highest fidelity, best textures, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but somewhere along the line, somebody's got to drop this info. Somebody has got to go first. And what's the big deal? I mean, at the end of the day, if you go first, okay, and the other guy goes lower, can you not change your price again? Is that a big issue? Or is it like, oh, once we announce the price,
for life.
we're stuck. We're stuck. Because hey, we saw what Xbox did after the launch of the Xbox One, where how quickly was it before they dropped the fucking before they got rid of the Kinect from the box, right? Didn't take them very long to get rid of that sucker. Oh, now it's optional, right? Because they had to compete price wise. Well, they don't have that in the box anymore. So, but I think Sony is really waiting for Microsoft to go first, like I said, so that they can step up and look like the good guy. But that's the thing. Microsoft just comes out with an aggressive price. Microsoft can't afford to cut their costs more than Sony, I think. And if Microsoft makes their price too good to be fucking true or very aggressive, Sony's really going to eat shit when they try to compete, because I don't think they can afford to take as big a hit on the PlayStation 5 as Xbox can afford to take with the Xbox Series X, and simply because as well, Xbox can make up some differential with those memory cards, and it can make up a little bit more with the Xbox Series S. You know what I mean? So if that one comes in competitively priced, they can kind of, no, it isn't a good look. I'll agree with Timothy Dixon. It's not a good look because you got to give retailers a price. You got to give pre-order things a price. So that's the problem. That is the problem, that you get all these people price, all of a sudden you're saying, no, well, now it's lower, right? So there is problems to be had with that for sure. But I think Microsoft has an advantage, but eventually, like I said, somebody has got to drop this ball, man, and get this stuff out in the open. And we're tired of wondering. I think a lot of us are close. I think a lot of the predictions are probably going to be true. Like I said, I definitely think that $499 is where they have to come in at. I think that's the guarantee. A lot of people saying $599. I think that's suicide for either console. I think both will struggle at $599. I mean, a few people will definitely buy it, but I think it's not mass purchasable. But so Jago Kukin is in the chat. What's up, Jago? Fugly's hanging out with us. Crispy Bomb, Timothy Dixon, and Sparhawk. What's going on? Guys, glad you could be here. So we're getting down to the end of what, Paul?
Real quick, one of the other reasons that Microsoft can afford to take a little bit more of a hit is with Game Pass. They really opened up their ability to, say, suck it up, Sony,
And you can't sell Game Pass if you don't have the device to sell it with, right?
Yeah, but remember, no Game Pass, even if somebody just has a PC, they may have Game Pass.
Right. Right. But I mean, it's perception, right? They need market share, and they need to have Xbox. It needs a good launch, a solid, strong launch. Otherwise, I think they're going to be sort of behind the eight ball again, like they were last gen.
Plus, plus with their whole I can't even think of what it's called, Play Anywhere thing they're doing, which is hitting it big right now. Yeah, play on your phone, play on your PC, play on your Xbox. They are getting a market share out there. They really are. They're just not being as loud about it as they probably should be.
Xbox needs that on their box too. That's what they need on their box. Is like somewhere in their box is saying xCloud, like Game Pass and xCloud. And if you buy this console and you have this service, you can play these games on your phone, kind of deal.
Yep.
What I really want to see next gen when these consoles come out, and the prices are out there. What I really want to see is that PlayStation 5 at whatever price point, and the Xbox Series X undercuts it by like $50 or something like that. I want to see the Series X at least a little cheaper than the PS5, and then they can you got the power and the price in the top tier console, and then on top of that, then you also have the entry level, God, that would be the best situation, in my opinion, for Xbox.
I honestly think Xbox is playing chicken with Sony, because Sony's going to have to give a price at some point really soon here.
Yes, absolutely. Agree, 100%. Two more quick topics before we get to Middle-Aged Game Guy and his segment of the night. So The Avengers game is out in the wild now. It's been a long time coming. I know some people are loving it. Hence, Jago Kukun is in the chat. I do believe he's picked up the game, and I saw a few people tweeting about it earlier. So it is out. If you guys have bought it or played it, how do you feel about the game at this point in time? Are you still excited about it? All that good stuff. And then we got another topic after this real quick. So anybody here on the panel buy a copy of the Avengers? Are you still excited about it, or are you going to pass based on everything that's kind of come out with the whole superhero friggin' expansion crap or whatever?
Yeah, I'm passing. I am.
We got a pass from Cerebral.
I got it.
You got it. All right. Meg's got it.
I'm
so
actually-
you have a chance to play it yet?
I'm playing it right now.
You did. Okay, you're playing
Yeah,
it right
because
now.
I have the, like I said, I game share with my wife. I know that sounds ridiculous, but we have separate budgets for gaming. So we go 50-50 on, I know
Right.
it sounds nuts, eh?
No, that's
But-
awesome.
So yeah, we do that, and then so we split the game cost, right? So it doesn't eat up our
Okay.
personal gaming budget. So, anyways, we got the
Yeah.
deluxe edition because we also have kids that play. And honest to God, man, I'm playing it right now. Like I only put in about half an hour. I played like the little opening kind of area, and then it's just before they do that bridge scene that they showed in the preview, and they had in the beta stuff like that.
Yep.
So I did just that, and then I turned it off. My son played it for a couple of hours. He loves it. The kids love it. I mean, they're jumping up on the couch and they're screaming Smash and all this other stuff. They're having a great time. Now I understand the controversy around this with the paywalls and everything else with the I don't want to call it DLC. I don't even want to call it a battle pass. They're kind of like these $10 things for like each character or whatever. But I also understand, if I'm not mistaken, now correct me if I'm wrong, anybody either in the panel or the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you can still earn everything in game if you grind out. I'm not
Right.
sure. But anyways, I don't give a shit. You know why? Because I'm not going to buy anything.
Right.
So I'm going to play it. I'm going to finish the campaign. I'm going to play the online. I'm going to play the co-op. I'm going to do all that kind of stuff. And then if I'm done with it, I'm done with it. Or when they download new characters, new missions, I'll play them. But I'm not going to be investing more money. I already paid $100 for it. So I'm like, no.
Yeah.
$100.
Well, $100 Canadian
Yeah.
for the deluxe edition, right? I
Mhm.
mean, keep in mind our base price games are $80 plus tax. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple people.
yeah, like it's $90. Like for me here in Ontario, it's $90 with tax in for a game.
Didn't you know in Canada, when you buy a game, you get a kick in the ass at the store?
Yeah.
And then
Cost
they,
of
then they,
free-
then they apologize. Then they apologize.
Yeah, that's right.
The cost of free medical, right there.
Well, we got free healthcare, but you know what? Our minimum wage is like double yours, right? So it's all
Jeez.
relative.
Yeah.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We got let me see, just check something to the chat here. Jago says he got the collector's edition coming. He should have it tomorrow. Crazy says he's gonna pass on Avengers for me. Wasn't impressed when they showed it. It was just never hyped all that much. Timothy Dixon says it's also a pass for him. So we got a few passes here, which is kind of interesting considering it is an Avengers game and it is made by Crystal Dynamics, who are known for making the Tomb Raider franchise. So that's quite interesting. That sort of stuff. So Titan, I think you're not planning to get this.
Well, for now, no, because
Okay.
all the videos I've seen about it, I've watched. What are they called? The guys that do all the video comparisons. I'm blanking on their name. Anyways, I watched some YouTube videos about the frame rate issues, and apparently there's a lot of frame rate issues with this game. That kind of turned me completely off to this generation in this game. So this might be a title I might pick up with like the Xbox Series X or something like that. And Mag, do you know, I just saw the thumbnail. I didn't get a chance to watch the video yet, but do you know why Mr. Boomstick, he said he canceled his pre-order?
He did.
it was
He
for
did.
exactly this reason.
What reason was that?
Dreadpool is trying to explain it to me in the chat here. I'm trying to read that. It's like you have to every character that comes, like a new character that comes out, he'll explain it better. I don't really understand it. It's like there's like a $10, some kind of a $10 charge, and I don't get what it is. I don't understand. So I'm not going to
you pay
pretend
for
I
the
know.
character, but when you play the game and you get the experience points, basically you get your money back. So
Okay.
it's kind of like, so if you don't end up playing the game, and it's kind of weird. It's like you buy the character, but then as you play, they get these experience points, and then they more or less refund your money for the character just by saying, thank you for playing our game.
That
What-
is
what?
super weird.
Like,
Yeah.
see, that's why I couldn't describe it, because I did hear that yesterday, but I didn't understand it. It was like,
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean? It was like right over my head.
Man, that's
Even
how I
Jay
completely
confirmed it.
understand.
You literally get your money back, but that's awful big gamble. Like, say if you're really addicted to the Avengers, you go buy 4 or 5
Right.
of these characters, and you spend 40, 50 bucks because you want to get all these guys, and you basically end up moving on to another game and never play it. Then you're really fucked. You've given them money for nothing, right? Yeah, if you play
Yeah.
it a lot, sure, but man,
Wait, so
that's really weird.
If
Do
I
they
play it
actually
enough, can I?
refund your money?
Yeah, I don't know how they plan to do that, but apparently you get some kind of in-game points or experience points, and then
See, that
basically
sounds
redeem them
shady.
back.
That
I don't
sounds like
know.
Okay, so
in-game
you're not
credit.
actually getting money back. They're giving you in-game credit that you can earn. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
not 100%.
equivalent, let's say, of $10.
Yeah,
That's super
Okay, so
strange.
you're still spending the money. So it's a real sneaky way of getting your
Yeah.
money. And at the
Dreadpool
same
says you
time,
have to
they're-
grind for 40 levels to get your money back. You know?
Oh,
Ooh.
nope.
Yeah, it's really sneaky. It's weird, and I think Boomstick, like I said, he's on to something. I mean, guys, when
Right.
Boom is really pissed off about something, then there's definitely something to it. You know, especially when it's something we know and love, and he's a big Avengers fan. So for him to come and say, "Man, I fucking canceled," shit definitely tickle a nerve.
Yeah, and he put that in his thumbnail. I was like, whoa.
They're getting really seedy with the way they're doing this microtransactions. Not a fan. I from what I'm hearing, it sounds a lot of bullshit to me too.
Well, you know what? If I'm getting 50, 60 hours out of the game, that's good enough for me. I'm not going to get any DLC.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
I'm not
give a
gonna
shit
buy it.
about.
If I buy
oh,
the game, I won't get it either.
Yeah, like I'll play the base game. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to play online co-op with my son. We'll have a few laughs. He'll be Iron Man. I'll be Hulk. We'll smash a bunch of people, and that's it. Like, we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and spend $10 to get fucking Maria Hill. You know what I'm saying? Or Nick Fury. Like, I don't care.
You'd spend that bucks to get Scarlett Johansson's character naked, though, right?
Wow, yeah. Well, I'll give her the $10 in ones and make it rain.
What I want to know is if I
Yeah.
could play the game enough and get my money back for the entire game.
Yeah, see, the only character I'd be interested in is Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's going to be PS4, and my multiplayer online is not PS4. I play all my single-player experiences on PS4, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I really don't give a shit. Whatever they're doing, anyway, I got the game. I'm enjoying it. So like I said,
Yeah.
if I get 50, my gauge
Yeah.
is if I have a really good time with a game and I hit anywhere between, let's say, the 20, I know it sounds ridiculous, but like the 20 to 60 hour mark, I'm happy. If
That's
I
what
pay
it's
full price.
That's all it's all about, man. It's all about having fun. It's what you have fun with, and how you spend your money is up to you. Like the bottom line, that's all it's about, right?
You know, before this COVID shit happened, when you go to the movie theater, okay, it costs me between the movie ticket, a drink, a bag of popcorn, I'm spending $25 for an hour and a half. Okay, if you think about it that way. Now you triple that cost to 75, let's say quadruple that cost. I'm getting anywhere between 20 and hundreds, depending on the game, hundreds of hours, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I put in like 250 hours in that game. And I loved every second of it. And you can't put a price on that. 250 awesome hours. You can't get 250 hours out of a movie.
That's
right.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because price to the time played. That's how I rate like all my games. That's how I basically judge. Well, that was a good purchase, or that was a waste of money. Yeah, I spent probably $500 or so on Smite over 5 years now of playing, and I've got over like 240 days worth of playing time. So like that's insane. 240 days worth of playing time
For Smite, yeah, that is insane.
I was going to say,
We need to get
see a
Titan a shirt.
psychiatrist.
We need to get Titan a shirt that says "Smite is right."
Smite is life.
Smite life, and you remember because they had those Smite life. Oh, great stuff. No, great points, man. Very valid. Like at the end of it, man. Like I said, it's how you feel. Like, I'm not here to can't stand Fortnite, but I'm not here to downfall anybody that wants to play it and how they spend their money. If that's their jam, that's their jam, right? I mean, lots of people buy Madden and hockey and all those games, and a lot of times I think they're not worth the money. But you know what? If that's your jam and that's what you love, who am I to say that you're right or wrong, right? Like, that's the bottom line. I love fucking games, and I'm sure people go, Noof is playing that piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, right?
Yep.
So,
It's
but the thing is, just be smart about your money. That's the thing. Just be smart about your money. It sounds like middle-aged game guy is not like, oh, well, I'm just going to buy into whatever they feed me. He's got the game, he's got the base game, and he's going to, he's going to play it accordingly. Because that's the thing, right? That's what I'm always worried about. It's not what. It's not so much what well, the problem is when somebody gets away with stuff like this, the problem is it sets a precedent for the rest of the industry and they follow suit. They say, well, that person gets away with it. We're going to try something similar. And you know what I mean? And then it snowballs. I mean, a few years ago, everybody just hated the microtransactions. Then they got rid of them to kind of, please the fans and everybody. Everybody's like, okay, well, now they're starting to get rid of them. But now they're finding new clever ways to basically get those microtransactions. Yeah, exactly. They're getting rid of the little tiny ones that we always bitched about, but now they're getting you into these battle passes and these season charges and all these things to keep you invested in the game, right? And I think it's kind of silliness, but I don't, like I said, to each their own.
I'm just glad like the loot boxes are gone for the most part. That was absurd. That was too far, in my opinion.
Yeah, they tried, right? They got away with it for a while, and then as soon as they got their wrists slapped, then they were like, "Oh, we were doing that."
Until government got involved, that's what it took.
Like, oh,
like Mortal Kombat, for example. Mortal Kombat 11's got things where you can buy the character, but they have this like half decent pack. Okay, you buy the 6 characters under this pack, you save a bit of money, or you can buy them individually, and spend more per character. But I'm not so against all things like that. The big one that used to get me was the DLC that used to be included on the disc back in the day. It was included, but it was locked behind the paywall. That shit used to really drive me. It's like, you have it on the disc. I know it's there. Like you could see it with Street Fighter 5 on the PlayStation. You could see they had stuff on the disc, but you had to pay the money to unlock it. And that drove me nuts. It's like, so basically the full game is there, but you're already telling us I got to pay to unlock it. Like that's bullshit,
I think Dave Folker said something like that in the chat. It's a way of making you feel like you're getting something, but you're not because it's something that should already be there in the first place.
Yeah, totally. Great point, Folker. Great point. Okay, last topic of the night before we get into we got middle-aged game guy and his amazing segment. Just games of gold, just really quick hit or miss. Here is what you're going to get for the month of September, guys. If you haven't already played this game already, The Division from September 1st to September 30th. Yes, you heard that right. The very first, The Division. So that's a great game. A lot of people loved it. Some people hated it, but I think overall it was fairly well received. So if you never played The Division, now is a great time to do it. Another Xbox One title, this is one comes after September 16th to October 15th, is called The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Never heard of it. Have no idea about it. Seems like a fucking indie title, which it probably is. Another one, Xbox 360. I heard it was a good game, but it was kind of one of those overlooked games. September 1st, September 15th, you can download the backwards compatible title, The Blob 2. Well, that sounds like a game about me. And and then the old Xbox title, Armed and Dangerous, which had a little bit of a following back in its day. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but that is your games with gold. So simply put, I'm pretty sure we're beating the same old drum each and every month at this point, guys. What do you feel about it? Cerebral Paul, we'll start with you since you're our guest. How do you feel about this month's games with gold?
Division, I like Division 2 way better. So yeah, we'll be going back to the Division. The others I haven't really heard much. And I very seldom go back to the old Xbox games because one, they look like shit on a high definition TV, and and plus you usually don't get achievements. So why would I play it unless I really, really, really like it?
Exactly. Yeah, if it was like a remaster or something, maybe. Yeah, great points. Anything there that you played the original Division, you liked the second one better. How about the Blob? Did you ever play the original The Blob 2?
No, I haven't played that. The one I will probably pick up is the second one for Xbox One. The Unhidden Tales or whatever that says.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jago, have a great night, brother. Glad you could stop by and check out the show.
Yeah.
Peace out. We'll catch you later. Jago's a good dude, guys. Go follow that guy. He's awesome.
Actually, I will say, though, that I usually do tend to download all the games with gold or at least add them to my account.
Right.
That way, if later I decide I want to check it out, it's there.
Yeah. No harm, no foul, right?
Yep.
Download them. They're there for a later date. Titan, how do you feel about this month's games of gold? Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Anything there you want to play?
Well, the Division, it's a pretty title to throw in there, right? It's nice and pretty.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I bought the Division 2 for like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was on an insane sale, so I went out and got it, and I haven't put too much time in it yet, like 10 minutes into that game or something, but I don't know. I should put more time in that, but I usually don't throw too much of a fit with these games with gold because Game Pass is keeping me busy enough. Your opinion may differ in that, which is fine. But speaking of Game Pass games, Man of Medan or Medan or however you say that.
Man of
I
Medan,
just started it.
Great game.
Yeah,
Cool.
very
Very
cool,
cool game.
man. I almost beat my first playthrough with it right now. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that game.
Totally took me for a loop. Like when I've beaten the game, and there was a couple spots I screwed up on, but it kind of, it starts out to be this, and then it starts to get logical. Do you know what I mean? Like the story kind of, okay, now it's starting to make kind of sense, kind of deal, but it kind of starts out leading you to think it's one way or the other. It is a pretty cool game. Yeah, those guys are pretty cool at making, and the graphics are amazing.
Yeah, love it.
Meg, how do you feel about games with gold, brother?
I have no feelings for games of gold. Me personally, I haven't Drago said it just a couple of second ago about Game Pass. I mean, I've got Game Pass is now a household expense. It's like the same as paying a water bill now, so it's just part of the house cost. So I don't even look at games with gold, but once in a while I'll take a poke at them and I'll just take a look, because sometimes there's some good like kiddie games that my kids will fart around with. And I think there was one last month. It's like these big mech robots, kind of like a Godzilla game, and you just kind of beat the shit out of each other and like you knock buildings down. They played that for like 2 days and they had a blast, squealing and laughing and whatever. They thought it was fun. But me, no. I don't think I've downloaded one since 2019.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, because a lot of those games that like you look at a game like Division or any of these other games, they're like, oh, that's a pretty good game. I already bought it.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago or 4 years ago. Like I'm that's the thing with the hardcore. We've already got most of these games, unless they're like some little indie game here and there. Actually, there was one. I'm going to say there was one. What Remains of Edith Finch?
Right.
Jesus, if I could say that properly. Edith Finch. That game was awesome. That game was magnificent. That was a diamond in the rough. And I saw it. It was on one of the games with gold. It was last year. It was either 2019 or 2018. I can't remember which year. And it was on there. And I'm like, okay, let's check. I heard some good things about it, and I loved it. But honest to God, man, it's probably been almost a year.
I will say one thing I do is if one of them is a game that I have in disc form and it's now digital, I will add the digital to my library.
Yeah, that's a great way. Yeah, I've done that a few times. That's a great way to do it as well. Because then if you ever decide to trade your disc or you lose it or something, you still got a backup, right?
Yep,
exactly, and it stays on the cloud forever, right?
Funny thing is, Edith Finch went to Game Pass as well, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I wouldn't have even noticed it the second time because I already played it, right? Once I'm done, I'm done.
Well, so. I think all of us as Xbox fans, like I said, none of us buys gold, and we're sitting there, can't wait for the games of gold every month. Like at this point in time, we've had a couple of good months here and there, but it's we've kind of seen the writing on the wall. Game Pass is your games of gold. I mean, everything you could pretty much want is in that service. It kind of makes, like I said, at this point, it really makes this whole games of gold redundant. What I said before, and I wish Microsoft would do this, maybe instead of doing games at gold at this point, is maybe they can look at what games are popular through Game Pass or on multiplayer and start maybe making DLCs that are free or microtransactions that are free instead. So basically, instead of they give a value to the games, right? Well, maybe why don't you give like $50 credit to your gamers to spend it on something, even if it's just $20 credit, and then they can spend it towards something, whatever they want in Xbox. They can still drive sales, and it would be a good, because you can't really go wrong with credit, because then people can just buy what they want. Because like for a lot of us, like I said, if you're a hardcore guy, you played these games ages ago, you've beaten them. So I think that's would be a great thing for Microsoft to at least consider. It doesn't even have to be a lot. Heck, it could be 10. You can download a boatload of indie games at even a $10 credit, right? So like, something like that. Or, each and every month, say a new game just came to Game Pass. Well, you play it in Game Pass, and guess what? We're going to give you like a couple of map packs that are absolutely free with Games of Gold this month. So you can play that game and you'll actually get the map. And that might actually entice people that don't, say, carry over at Game Pass actually buy that game because they actually have content for it, kind of deal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a lot of ways they can do this, which would, like I said, because right now Games with Gold is really redundant. It's not terrible, but it's just kind of weird at this point. Like for me, it's like I look at them, it's like, I could care less, but I'm sure there's probably thousands of fans every month though that really enjoy the offerings of Games of Gold, especially a money-strapped parent who can't buy their kid a lot of games. People that are coming into the generation late, they're like, "Oh, the Division's there. They're going to play it," and kids will love it, and it's great. I think that's who Game Pass is, the Games of Gold is more tailored to at this point. But yeah, it is what it is. I could really care less, but we see the writing on the wall. Everything's with a lot of games in Game Pass come with the DLC. I didn't know that, but hey, there is some options that Microsoft could definitely do to make it more enticing for sure, and I think you guys agree with that.
Yeah.
All righty. Before we get out of here, we got one more segment for the night, and we're gonna hand over the show to Mag.
Live from Studio 69 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to Name That Game. And here is your host, Tony Baloney. That's right, it's Tony Baloney here, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Baloney's here. Oh my God, we got Nuke Nukem in the house. We got Titan Drago. We've got Cerebral Paul here. We've got a wonderful chat this evening. Shut the music down. Shut the music down. Oh my God, this building's on fire. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am Tony Baloney. And remember, ladies, that is no sock in my crotch. Now, what we're going to be doing is the rules are very simple in Name That Game. I will describe a game very badly from any generation, and you simply must name that game. Anyone can chime in at any time, but the real challenge is this. Whoever in the chat gets it right first, I will be keeping a tab. I, Tony Baloney, and whoever gets the most right over the next 10 weeks, I will buy you a game of your choice, standard edition, for any system. Can you beat that? You can't beat that. No, you can't beat that. So what we're going to do is before we get to the actual question, I am going to give everybody a warm-up question. Okay, so this is a warm-up question. This does not count. Dreadpool, keep your pants on. Okay?
I told him to leave. I told him to get out of here.
Here is the first description. This is the warm-up. It does not count. Chat, take it easy. First one. I have mommy and daddy issues, so I beat the shit out of people. Name that game.
Anybody?
I have mommy and daddy issues, so I beat the shit out of people. Name that game.
Freejack says Octodad. Foggy says Max.
Bunch of clowns, all of you. Shall I give you the answer?
Joe Dunmore?
Oh,
Joe Dunmore gets it correctly. Joe Dunmore's the first one to get it. It was Batman. That was Batman. But remember, that was the warm-up. Now it is time for the actual question. Chat, you better be. Dreadpool, you were dead wrong. Punch out. Ridiculous. Now time for the real one. First person in the chat to get this, they get a number down on their name. And remember, at the end of all this, at the end of the 10-week period, I will be buying you a game, standard edition, of your choice. Here is the question. I steal ancient shit. I murder everyone in front of my face, making me the worst good guy ever.
Oh, I think I know.
I steal ancient shit. I murder everyone in front of my face, making me the worst good guy ever. Crazy Greek dude, I said guy, not Tomb Raider.
I think you got Joe.
Holy shit, it's Joe Dunmore. It was Uncharted, ladies and gentlemen. It was Uncharted. Joe Dunmore is our winner for this week. Dreadpool, you have 2 in total. And Joe Dunmore has 1. So Joe Dunmore has 1 for this week. So I just like to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode. And be here next Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Gaming After Dark for another episode of Name That Game.
Great job, Joe. Great job.
All right, that was awesome. That was awesome. Way to go, Joe Dunmore. There you go. So now you guys know how to play. So it pays to stay and check out this podcast week in and week out, because obviously you have to add up the points in order to win that game of your choice. So we're 2 weeks in, 8 more to go. So Dreadpool's got a 2.
He's got 2. Now,
2
what
point.
I did.
No, we're 3 weeks in, because if he's got 2 and 1.
No.
that's
See,
three,
this is
right?
what I was doing. I kind of did it this way: that the first episode I gave 2 as a
Oh, okay.
bonus.
Yeah.
But funny enough, Dreadpool got both of them.
Mhm.
And then the final the 10th week, I'm going to be doing another 2. So that's where it's going to get interesting. Let's say if someone is got 9 and someone's got 8. Well, then it gets, because you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes a challenge, because that person with 8, if he gets both of them, he could actually win in the end.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. So that's what we're going to do. So Dreadpool got 2 last week, and then we're doing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then when we get to the 10th week, I'm doing 2 on the final episode.
Ooh.
Hey,
Yes.
Dave, have a great night, brother. Thanks for listening and checking out the show. To all of you guys, you're freaking amazing. We had an amazing turnout in the chat tonight. We love you guys. You're awesome. Make sure you share this out. If there's one thing about this podcast, I ain't saying we're the best or the greatest or nothing else, but if there's one thing I think most of you guys in the chat and even this panel can agree on, that when Gaming After Dark hits, I know it's late for a lot of people, but we have a ton of fun on this podcast. The chemistry is great here. We're having a good time, and I think it shows, and I'm loving every minute of it. And we hope that you guys are too. You're fantastic. So, yeah, thanks, Fugly. Appreciate it, man. Hope you had a great night. So that was awesome. There you go. Name that game. So that is it for this week, guys. We are done. We're going to get out of here. So let's head over to the panel and our esteemed guest who killed it tonight. Glad he was here, and I guarantee you Cerebral Paul will be back again with a cute little beaver icon. How can we not have him back? Cerebral, thanks for being here, brother. Let people know where they can check out your content. Like you said, you're streaming all the time, and I would love to get more people over to your streams. So let people know where they can check you out, bro.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat if that's all right.
Go right ahead. Drop the links. Go right ahead. Drop it in the chat and let people know.
There's my Twitch link, and I'm also on the Twitter as Cerebral Paul 1. So, and I'm also on Xbox as Cerebral Paul 921, I believe. But you can find me. You'll recognize it's me. So
absolutely, go follow this guy, guys. He's awesome, and like I said, so there you go. Thanks for being here, Paul. Greatly appreciate it, man. We'll have you back again one of these weeks.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
All right, let's get over to my co-host, Mr. Titan Drago. Let's let people know where they can check out what's going down, brother.
Yeah, everything at Titan Drago, everybody. And you're right, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun here. You're not going to find a lot of other podcasts that have, this much charisma and entertainment value. It's just not out there. So please share this out with a friend or two, and we can grow this community. We can grow this awesome chat and get it even bigger. It's so great to podcast with Noof and Mag, our new panel member on his second week here, and what he brings to the show. It's awesome. He reminds me a lot of the Mooch, the way he presents himself. And our awesome guest Cerebral, great to have you here, bud. I've never seen you. Are you on Twitter, Cerebral?
Yeah, I think I follow you. I think.
Yes.
All right, I'll have to send me a message on there. I'll have to add you. I don't remember seeing you on there, but and just like in the chat, if you guys are active, send me a message on Twitter and I'll follow you. That's all it takes, is a simple message. And it's been such a good night tonight. Tonight there was just countless examples of people bringing the common back to sense.
Beautiful. Love it when he ends it that way, people. Make sure you're following Titan. And yes, he's 2 weeks in, but man, he brings the heat. We're so honored to have him as part of our podcast. I knew when I had this guy as a guest a few weeks back, he had to be a part of this. Titan agreed. Here he is, guys. Middle-aged game guy, better known as the Mag. Love his new segment. It's great stuff. Mag, let people know where they can check you out, brother. And again, we are so honored to have you as part of this podcast.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an absolute honor for me to be here each and every week. You can follow me at the Middle-Aged Game Guy. That's with the GY at the end on Twitter. You can follow me on the Xbox, all capitals, DEDMEAT1. That is Deadbeat1. And on the PlayStation side of things, once again, one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. I am the Mag. And as well, you can find me every Monday night on Primetime Gaming with, of course, Mr. Boomstick XL. And, of course, every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. for Gaming After Dark. And Cerebral Paul, it was a pleasure having you here. We lost one beaver, but we gained another one tonight. So there we go. There we go. So Titan, Noof, great show tonight. Chat,
Yes.
you guys were awesome and welcoming as always. So I look forward to seeing everybody next week. Thank you and have a good night.
Oh, chat was lit tonight, man. You guys are the unsung heroes of this podcast stuff, because without you guys, it'd be pointless for any of us to be here at all. And that's why I appreciate you big time. And you, like I said, you guys kept it real. You guys were interactive tonight. Love it. Everybody, stayed on the down low. It's nice when people show up and you don't have to get rid of you need a moderator dropping people every 5 seconds. So yeah, nothing pisses me off more than that dumb shit that shows up at every podcast and goes, Xbox got no games. Like, I know why you do it, but it's just, come on, man. It's getting fucking old, don't you think? Like, we've heard that fucking saying forever. We know what you mean. Like, get the hell out of here, right? But anyway, so Slinky M is here. What's going on, Slinky? Lurking in the shadows there, just dropping in the thing. And we got, my good buddy Chase Jones is here. He showed up in there. Chase, what's up, brother? You might know him as Chase Nightcrawler. He's an awesome dude as well. Like, you guys are fantastic. And don't forget, guys, Dreadpool's up 2 points. Joe Dunmore. So come back here, next week. Stick around. Thanks, Custodes X. Appreciate it. Yes, he came to pet the beaver. Nice. Great stuff, guys. Anyway, I'll let you guys get out of here. Nobody's getting tired. So we'll catch you all again next week, guys. And yes, community game night. I will try to get something on the go for this Saturday. I'll try to get something posted here in the next day or so. So keep an eye on my Twitter. I'll post the stuff over on Xbox as well on the community forum. So keep an eye out for that. Try to pick something cool that we can all play. I know everybody's crying out for a fight night one of these nights, so we'll probably do that as well. So, and if you're not following Mr. Tushy on Twitter, maybe go give him a follow as well, because Mr. Tushy's kind of taken on the role of the UK side of community game night, so he gets it going earlier, and then we follow up with of course my side of the things with sort of the North American time zone community game night. So go check that stuff out. Anyway, guys, catch you guys later. I'll see you guys. Yeah, it probably won't be Gears this Saturday night. I can't afford to break another controller. Long story, but yeah. But anyway, we'll see you guys again. We'll see you guys again next week. Take it easy, everybody.